Hi, welcome to Clutter Bravado.
Yes, and it's the energy. It's not just about the stuff.
So we should probably just get into it, right?
Let's go.
Hello.
Hi, Elyse.
How are you?
I'm very, very, very well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a Sunday today.
Today's a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Do we say it? It's also the warmest day of the summer,
we're
pretty
in the
much.
middle of a heat wave.
But you know what? We've been very lucky. It has been a good summer. We're just going through it. Tomorrow's another bad day, and then after that, we're like coasting
and then
along
we're-
back to 75.
Exactly. It'll be really nice, actually.
Welcome to California.
I love Southern California for this reason. I can deal with a few days of heat as long as I don't have to deal with any snow, you know?
Oh, there's just more than just the snow. There is, the rainstorm and
Yeah, we're very
good.
lucky. So, where are you from originally?
So I was born in Cannes, in the south of France.
Oh, like where everyone goes to the film festival.
Exactly.
Okay.
And in last century,
Sorry?
the last century, I was.
The last century?
Yes,
The 20th century.
the last one.
That's crazy. Like the 1900s? That's amazing.
And
When did you move here?
so I moved to California in 1994.
In 94. Okay.
San Francisco first, the Bay Area.
Okay.
Lived there for 15 years and then moved down to Southern California.
What was California like in the 90s? So before I let you answer that, I used to have one of my first, you could call it an interior design inspiration, but one of the first aesthetics that I fell in love with was 90s San Francisco, Lilith Fair. There was a lot of color there too. It was kind of a very, very queer time there. Obviously, San Francisco has always had that culture, but I looked up to that so much when I was young. I'm not going to age myself just yet. We'll get there.
That's my job.
Right.
No, San Francisco. I love California. I love California.
Mm-hmm.
Even though San Francisco has changed tremendously, it's still a cool place. And in '94, it was a great cradle for artists. It was smaller, because like a lot of the city now has expanded, South Market, and whereas
So like the tech boom that was really,
Right.
yeah.
So they've expanded. The city has grown tremendously.
Yeah.
But when I was there, it felt really small. But the neighborhoods were the Mission and the Marina. Everything was at a neighborhood, at a flair, at a vibe. Haight-Ashbury was was obviously very typical. So that was fun to be in a city full of like artists and artisans and cool new restaurants. I mean, the restaurants in the Bay Area kind of changed a little bit. The landscape of the restaurants through the United States. I mean,
wow.
So it was really fascinating. I mean, and then the late '90s, obviously, and early, the internet changed the U.S. for sure and the world. So that was that started there, and it was what it was. I mean, I can't judge. You can't look back and judge. I don't. But it was fun. It was really fun.
Oh, that's really cool. So you have been in the design industry for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that started off, I mean, you've told me your story, so I'm going to try to relay a little bit of it, right?
Okay.
So you started off in antiques dealing because your family did that. Your family had a store, an antique store. You had the experience of going to auctions and looking at these very old pieces of furniture from, what was it, the 1700s in France?
17 and 1800s, yeah.
Yeah. And so you started collecting. And you were doing that when you first moved here too, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So as an antiques dealer.
Yes.
Nice. So how did it turn into what it is today?
So it's an evolution. We were very focused at the time. The trend was very much into the French 18th and 19th century. That's what we specialized in, and that trend kind of started to not be as popular. I always want to learn. I always want to grow, and I always want to learn. So, I became pretty very good at 18th and 19th century, and
Very good.
and then wanted to learn more about 20th century, and then I got interested in American 20th century, which I found fascinating. And then, my career has evolved because I discovered new pole of interest, new things to delve into, and then. So we started buying, more of the 20th century, be it French or American, and really, being in California, it was fun. It was fun to discover designers and art and sculptures. Obviously, here it's packed with some of the sculptures that I have purchased over the years. I have a really big appreciation for art. And sculptures.
So especially, we should talk about this too. We are recording this in the Kimberly Denman studio,
Right.
which is also your home.
Right.
And you just are lucky enough to live in one of the most beautiful places in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yes, in the Talmadge. So now I'm just blowing up your spot. Everybody knows where you live. But you have so many sculptures here. We have one behind us right here, but there's so many throughout this entire space. It's really obvious to me how much you care about and are really intrigued by different kinds of art and sculpture, especially. Do you have a specific type of sculpture that you're more drawn to now as your taste has evolved?
Truly, no. I just love quality. I mean, I'm as fascinated by the 17th century sculpture as I am by a contemporary sculpture. It's all of it. It's about quality. It's about interest. But I will fall in love with a 18th century painting or 21st century painting or a photography. I don't have limits. So it's an addictive. It's dangerous, but I'm not a collector in the sense of a specific period or a specific. I just whatever grabs me I have to have a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah.
After that, I'm not really attracted to a specific name. I'm not into if it's something that I love, yes, I will But more importantly, I like the quirk. I like the interest. I like something that, and in terms of medium, you see marble, bronze, stone. I mean, I'm all over the
every
place.
Kind. They're all over the place.
And it's not anything that I've done or we've done, Kimberly and I, from a conscious decision of being like, oh, we're going to do a little bit. It's just we fall in love with things, and that's what we've collected over the years.
That's gorgeous.
And in terms of art, it's the same thing. I'm fascinated by artists. I think that contemporary artists are fascinating to talk to and learn from. We've already spoken to a couple of people that I can't wait for the podcast to be out. And so it's and I can't wait to have a lot more of those artists on the podcast. I mean, art is just where humans can express themselves. It's just I really love it.
Yeah.
And it's a story of love. I love our community. I mean, I really, truly, some designer. I mean, some of these people are my family away from home, and and they mean a lot. So it's exciting.
Well, that kind of goes into the other thing too, because you host some of the best parties in Los Angeles. Period.
That's what.
You're known for that.
Okay.
Especially in this place. You're known for your cocktail parties, your dinner parties. I've had the opportunity to attend both kinds, a few of them. Dinner parties, incredible, because you were a chef.
I was. I have a yes.
Yes.
Cooking is another. It's a hobby, but it's really relaxing to me. It's
Yeah.
also look, the best part of it is when we have a big party. You know, people come in and they mingle and they talk, and you know, and then I start. And you've seen it. I start
Yeah.
putting food out, and suddenly there's a moment where everybody goes to the table and
Yeah.
starts eating, and that is love to me. I'm like that's where the night goes.
I like that. I'm one of those people, by the way. When I show up to a party, the first thing that I look for is the snacks. And that's where I make friends. That's where I make enemies. Also, you make this incredible, is it chicken liver mousse?
Uh-huh.
You make a chicken liver mousse that I personally have witnessed like 3 grown men nearly fight each other for. And I understand why they're fighting. I like to pretend like I could take them.
And you tend,
But there's no actual fighting. It's just like, oh, so I see you're having more.
it is a little addictive.
You told me the ingredients of it one time, and it freaked me out.
Oh, it's not a weight loss recipe.
No,
It's
no,
not.
it is not.
No,
it is not.
but
It is
tastes
dense.
really
It's
good.
so good. Oh my God, it's so good. We've had the opportunity on here, like as we've been bringing guests in, to make some incredible recipes. And so far, my absolute favorite is tomato sorbet. That is, I would never have considered to make a tomato sorbet.
Well, now you know, and
Now I know how. I thought initially that you were going to make something sweet that was almost like ice cream or almost like a dessert. But the fact that it's so light that it just tastes like a perfect tomato, but it has a little olive oil, a little tarragon, a little orange, a little sea salt, a little, it's like, it's delicious. And okay, I'm looking into camera. Listen, if you ever get invited to one of these parties and tomato sorbet is on the menu and you don't show up, I mean, God save you. Truly one of the most delicious things I've ever had. I also love cooking, by the way. So for one of these parties, can I?
of course, I can't wait.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can't wait for us to. We'll cook together. I'll be your sous chef.
Okay, I have ideas.
All right.
First of all, my favorite ingredient to use when I'm cooking is sweet potatoes. I love a yam. I love a sweet potato. And they're so versatile, and I love their texture. They're also healthy. The color, and that they can be savory. They can be sweet. They can be a dessert. I've made them a dessert many times, sweet potato pie, but not just sweet potato pie. I haven't tried making a sweet potato sorbet, but now the tomato sorbet had me thinking about it, that I could use that as a base, right?
That could be. We
Maybe.
could try. Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming up with ideas. We'll do something around Thanksgiving. How's that?
That's perfect.
Yeah?
Perfect.
Ooh.
We'll post. We'll
Amazing.
make sure to I'll be there, the sous chef.
Perfect.
I'm a good cleaner too, so you're good. You're in good hands.
Oh, thank you. So the first time that I came here was for a cocktail party that you were hosting. It's just one of your, you have 4 a year, I think you said. You have 4 cocktail parties a year, and everyone who's anyone in interior design or in art in the city shows up. It was really impressive. I felt such an imposter when I came here the first time.
I remember you being nervous. That was funny.
I was so nervous, mostly because, and this is how we really met, is that I was working as an assistant for an interior designer. And working as an assistant doesn't mean that you know anything about design. And I hardly knew anything at all. I knew a few names. I knew a few ways to describe things. I was learning new things every day. New words every day. The day I learned what wainscoting was changed my life. I was always just it's like that in a castle. I had no idea how to describe it. Anyway, but yeah, so meeting you at an event where my boss couldn't be there, she sent me instead. and walking through this space so overwhelmed. And you were so incredibly kind and just like sort of reached your hand out like, come meet my friends. And that being the beginning of us working together, of doing this podcast, is like such a gift. So I want to just give you props for that first.
Well,
But
it's
I have had the experience so many times, like sometimes here or at another event, where I do have that imposter syndrome, where I have that, I like everybody else has been in the business for so long. They know so much. And to turn that imposter syndrome into a way to learn more from people is something that I didn't expect that I would be doing so soon, but that we get to do together. And I really love that.
I do too. And, it's what I loved was your interest and your passion and your true, you wanted to learn, you wanted to, and that's rare. I mean, it's, so that's why I wanted you to be with us. And, I'm also proud, I guess, of the community. I don't know that proud is the right word, but there's a community here, and we'll discover, because I have very strong ties to the Bay Area, and I can't wait to go up there, because you will meet some other really fantastic people up there. But I genuinely think that the design community is so creative and so knowledgeable, and a lot of designers or artists are just expert in their and some of them. I'm rambling. Someone said that I can't finish a sentence.
Just finish the thought all the way.
I'll finish the thought all the way. They all have maybe specific things where they're experts, be it in colors or be it in fabric, but they have a broad knowledge too, and they have to also learn about art. There are, you see many of designers are on Saturday, they will be at an art gallery. And that's just what I really love. When we have dinner, they are into the food, they're into the tableware, they're into everything. They notice they are passionate about more than just design. And what I think they give to their client is a gift of helping them make a home. And a home is key. I mean, that's where we spend between the time you sleep and the time you raise your kids, and we spend so much time in a home, and designers are there to help people make them happier, or have a place where you can be happy, and that's just important. It's just, it goes beyond just the knob on the cabinet. It's an overall feel.
Design isn't just things.
Right.
Yeah, it's about how it makes you feel, how it makes your home feel, what the energy is like,
and the flow, and how you entertain, how you and so I respect that. I love that, and having them on the podcast, and we've done a few, so you've been able to you're amazing at asking the right questions, and people have responded really well, because it makes them think. It makes them be a little bit more. We're not talking just about colors, and we're talking about personal.
Yeah,
and
about
personality.
What it's like to be a designer.
And I think that people are having fun with it.
Yeah. I have had so many careers in my life. I got my English degree. On my way to do that, I had a million side jobs. I was working in restaurants. I was a cocktail waitress. I was a bottle service girl for a little while when I was in college. Actually, no, when I was in beauty school. We'll get to that. I hosted speed dating. I graduated from college. 9 days later, I started at beauty school. That's when I became a bottle girl, and also a bartender. And then I started working at a salon, and then I started working as an instructor at a cosmetology school. Meanwhile, also bartending, then quit bartending, put all of my focus on working at the cosmetology school. Got fired. I was 24. What was I doing teaching people who were all older than me anyway? But then to pivot into working in a different salon, like becoming, I was an esthetician and I started doing eyelash extensions and specializing in that. And also working in like a craft cocktail bar and getting to learn like the little secrets of cocktail making, sort of along the same lines of people who build for perfumes, like your base note, your middle note, your high note, like the one that's all the way up at the top. It's like building a symphony. It's the same thing with whatever you do. You're making cocktails, you're making food, you're putting makeup on someone. With anything that you do, it's all about like building and layering. And I was able to take all of those weird skills and put them together. And coming out to LA, I started, I've also, I skipped that I've been modeling since I was 19. And I got into modeling and acting. I was working in a salon for a while. And then I was, what else have I done out here? I wrote 2 books of poetry. And then I recorded an album. And then I made a one-woman show. I was an activist for a while. I became a featured writer on a website or on Medium back in 2020, where I was on the same list as Barack Obama and Roxane Gay as a featured writer for a month. That was insane. Okay. And Ta-Nehisi Coates also in the same list. Nuts. Decided to travel the world. Wanted to write another book. Changed my mind. Put out my one-woman show. Did it. Oh,
yes, I know. And now you're a podcaster.
And now I'm working on this podcast. I started working as an interior design assistant because I needed a job. And I said yes. And it just turned into something else that I was interested in. But you know what's crazy about all of this is that the things that I learned from being a bartender, the things I learned from being a cocktail server and a bottle service girl, it's just personality skills. It's just how to talk to somebody. It's just how to recognize what it is that they're like, whether or not they want to talk to you at all, and how to find out what they're actually looking for, what their motives are, all of that. I learned that from cocktail serving instantly. Bartending. You're building cocktails. You're doing things speedily. You're like moving quite right along, but you have to keep things in order as you do it. Mise en place, we talk about that quite a lot. In working in restaurants, you can apply that to everything in your life. As I'm organizing the editing for this podcast, I'm using those skills, putting things into folders so I know where they are, so I don't get lost later, making lists of all the things that I need to do. That's the same way that I write when I'm working on a book. That's the same way that I organize a book. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here. It always stays there so I know where it is. And it's the same thing as building a cocktail. When you want to start with your base note, you want to start with like, what is the base of this? Okay. We need something that's like warm, resonating, great when I'm cooking. It's going to be like, I want to use something that has sweet potatoes and coconut oil. Beautiful. We have like a base note. If I'm decorating in my home, okay, cool. What is the texture that we want to really settle into? Where do you want the coziest place to be in the room? And then building from there. And so being a multi-hyphenate artist in any way, like I'm also a Libra. I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place. But I love that.
For a little while, I was a bridal makeup artist. And I had to learn the personality types of all the people in a bridal party.
Which one was going to cry?
Which one is, you have to figure out which one is going to cry right away. It's usually either the sister or the best friend from high school of the bride, always. The most challenging person. You don't have to worry about a bride being a bridezilla. I never worked with a bridezilla. You know who I did work with? Mothers of the bride.
Oh, yeah.
Nightmares. And they're going through one of the hardest times in their life. And so you treat them with the utmost care. But that same attentiveness to what someone is needing in that moment, it just takes a little bit of just like, okay, let's have this quick conversation. You learn that from working in the service industry. And like you have the experience of having worked in the service industry. You're also a kickboxing coach. I forgot that I teach yoga. I missed that one.
Oh, you missed that one. I took a class yesterday. It was awesome.
Yeah. But in doing that too, I was a teacher in a cosmetology school for a while. I have to be in front of people. I'm a performer. You just get on stage and then you do what you do. It's wild how many things can fully intersect.
It's also wild how many you've done, and you know. So I've experienced the yoga, which was incredible. The eyelash I'm skipping.
Okay, that's fine.
I have been to your one woman show, which I was in awe.
Pickled, yeah.
And can't wait for you to do it again and have all of my friends come see you, because I was moved, I was touched, I was blown away.
Wow.
So I can't wait.
Thank
you. I've yet to taste your cooking, so that I'll be happy to do.
I'm so surprised because I cook all of my own food for myself at home.
I know,
but
so
I guess
we
every
have to-
time I'm here, you cook for me.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll switch.
And also, I'm
We'll-
still afraid for you to like come see my house.
Right.
You have such a beautiful space here that if you come to my like 1-bedroom apartment,
Yeah, but
it's cute though. Don't get me wrong.
I'm sure it's cute, but you're not the only one, and I don't. It's kind of weird because a few people are like, "Oh, you can't come to my house." And I'm like, "It's about the company. It's
Yeah.
not about." But you'll cook here, so I can't wait for
Okay,
that.
that works. My
And-
couch is the same color, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah, it's the same color.
Oh,
It's just, it's a little uglier.
Well, this one is kind
And
of
a hell of a lot cheaper.
Probably. This one is Pierre fabric. Another one
Is
of our
it?
favorite. Yeah.
My couch at home, I just needed it to be it's a performance velvet. I think that's what they call it. So it's really durable because my dog, I needed something that my dog could also lay on sometimes.
Yeah.
And it cleans up really well. So it's nice, but it's the same color. And yeah, it also hides a lot, this color, by the way. In my house, it has to.
Yeah, we well, we never had dogs when we had this sofa, but they were also not on it. But love dogs.
Your dogs are not allowed on your furniture. I wouldn't either. Your furniture's way too nice for that.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were not. But
Yeah.
we had dog beds everywhere, so they were fine.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
naturally. Did you make them out of Pierre fabric?
No,
No?
we didn't push the envelope that far. But we had a lot of very comfy dog beds everywhere.
I just got a brilliant business idea.
I know, but dog beds are just hard to make too. But yeah,
Are they really?
yeah,
No.
they're not easy. Well, the good ones.
Okay, that's fair. Didn't Nate Berkison,
Jeremiah.
yes. They just came out with a Petco line. They have a hamster bed, a leather guinea pig sofa.
Yeah, those two are very, very creative. That's for sure.
Yes.
And
How
brilliant.
fun is that? We should do that.
All right, Petco.
All right. Not Petco. What's their
Petco.
competitor?
I don't know. I think that now they're
Healthy Spot.
Yeah.
Great. Healthy Spot
Healthy
brand.
We're here.
Couches
We love
by Clutter
pets.
Bravado. I like it.
I've also heard you sing
Oh,
upstairs.
yeah. Yes.
That was fun.
Yes. I do sing.
And play the piano.
I do sing and I play the piano. Yes. It's done in my show also, but like not in a way that I'm actually singing so you can see how I sound. It's really just to carry the story along.
Right.
There's screaming in the show too on the piano. But no, yes, I do play the piano and I do sing.
So that was really great. It was at the end of an evening upstairs
Yeah.
at Alfredism. It was fantastic.
That space up there is gorgeous too.
Yeah.
And who was it? Was it Thomas Levin talking about his beautiful, huge piano? I'm excited. We've just got so much. We've had some really great people on this show already, and it's going to be so sick. People get to, like, we are providing not only quality content, but like an actually educational experience and like sharing talents and passions and all of that. It's so cool.
Well, we're keeping it fun.
Yeah.
So that I like.
Yes.
And everybody who's been here so far. I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, and then they had a good lunch too, which helps.
Which helps. Because you're cooking all of our guests' lunch. I get to eat it.
You do so much.
That's all I'm here for.
Yeah.
Free food.
Well, it's
Free
good.
food and an education.
There you go.
There we go.
And fun.
And a good time. And I guess your company or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's debatable, but
Nah.
you're putting up with it, so and you're doing well.
We put up with each other very well.
Seems to be working, huh?
Yep. I think it's pretty sick. Great.
Now that we've gone through that.
Now that that's out there.
Now
cool.
that's out there.
Well, we should wrap this up, but yeah. I'm glad that we're finally letting people get to know us. Who we are. Why we're here. All of it. What Clutter Bravado actually is.
Yeah.
Go for it. What do you got?
What I got. It's just to make sure that everybody knows all those sick, talented designers, artists, and restaurateurs.
Yes. Letting them know everything. The dirty little secrets.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we should wrap this up.
Thanks.
Okay.
We're done.
We're done. Have a good evening.
Yes.